Hello, hello, hello. So I've had a day of readings. Akashik readings blew my mind. Amazing. So when I do Akashic readings, I typically have to meditate before I start the reading. Let me turn off my fan so it doesn't sound like we're underwater. And let's go ahead and share the live with people that may find a benefit to that. Share the live. And let's see what's coming up soon. And if you're here, please share the live, if you could be so kind. And I'm going to wait. We're going to be talking about soulmates and twin flames and why, how soulmates, high-level soulmates are created. Because I think some of you are not getting the full picture. And I realized that with this client today, because of course she wanted to do a reading with me on, is the person she's connected to a twin flame, right? And she wasn't sure, blah, blah, blah. And so we just finished the reading, and I was able to tell her what she needed to hear. And so as soon as we get some people on, I'm going to go ahead and speak because I'm not going to repeat myself. So I'm going to wait until we have people on and just be patient. And we might do an oracle reading afterwards if we have time. But if you have questions on twin flames and high-level soulmates, let me know right now. If not, let me wait because I'm not seeing any numbers. So I'm not sure how many people. Could you guys do a show of hands? Let me see how many people, because they're not showing me numbers. And I want at least 9 people before I start anything. Is there any way you could show your hands? Beth Mull. Oh, hey, Beth. It's good to see you. Good. Okay, so I'm waiting. I don't know why I'm not seeing numbers. So, Venus Healing Hands. Okay, cool. Hey, thank you, Trendy. Yeah, show of hands. Just so I know. You're so sweet. Thank you, Trendy Me Collections. Okay, so we're going to talk about soulmates and high-level soulmates and twin flames, okay? Hi, my love. Hey. All right, so should I start? Beth, can you see the numbers? Because I can't tell. By the way, did I ever make you a moderator? Let me see. Add as a moderator. There you go. You've been added as a moderator, okay? All right. Shall we start? How many people? Do you see any numbers? Because I can't see for some reason. It's weird. Yes, not many right now. Okay. Because I need 9. As soon as we get 9, 3. Oh, shit. 4. Okay, cool. Share the live, you guys, if you could. Share the live. You know, I forgot to share it on 9, 3. Oh, shit. 4. Okay, cool. Share the live, you guys, if you could. Share the live. You know, I forgot to share it on bloody hell. So I just sent it to our group. It's Friday night, though. Oh, who cares? Most people are at home. And most spiritual people are home. Believe me. Trust me on that one. Friday night, who cares? All right, so let's break it down. So I've said this before, but I think it bears repeating. So when your souls were made by the Creator, right? The one of 1,000 names, the one who created us all. At the exhalation of the souls being released, being birthed out of this desire and this loving energy, right? This divine love and energy, the souls were birthed. In some cases, 1,000. In some cases, 5,000. In some cases, 500. And so these were soulmates. These were soul tribe members. These were brothers and sisters, right? And you would say androgynous, some leaning more towards the masculine, some more to the feminine, some more androgynous, yes? And then some souls chose to split, as Plato discussed, in half. That's a twin flame situation. To experience themselves in different bodies, on different planets. This is not a New Age thing at all, okay? Some of us remember our twin flame connections in other planets when we were twin rays before we fell to twin flame. Do you understand? The high-level soulmates are in the following. Have you ever seen families that have like 12 people, 12 children? And imagine the high-level soulmate is you're born first, you're the elder, then you split, let's just say hypothetically as a soul into 2, so you've got your twin. Then the third person being birthed is your younger brother, but it's only like 6 months separation. I'm just hypothetically, or year separation of age. And then after that, there's another, and there's another. Then after that, your parents didn't have children for 10 years, and then more siblings came. and boom, there's no real, there's a connection. You're soulmates, you're from the same family, but it's not as tight as the first top 5 brothers and sisters that you have. Do you understand? That came every year. Your mom was having babies every year. That's the best way I can explain it, to explain the link. Does that make sense? You're closer in age. You were birthed at this, but coming out of this extensive simultaneous birthing, there's a staggering. Even twins have seconds separating them, sometimes hours separating them, even actual biological twins, right? When they're being born, right, out of their mother's womb, there is an hour. Sometimes there's 5 minutes. They're older by 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Do you understand that? That makes a difference. And then the following year, mommy has more children. Maybe she has another second set of twins. I'm trying to explain this to you. So let me go back. So twin flames are this. The souls are born at the same time. There's 500. And out of 500, you got the soul that's split into 2, wanted to experience themselves into different bodies for whatever reason that was. And then other soulmates did the same. And then some soulmates did not. Not everyone has a twin. Did not. And there is like a feeling of familia. Once the reincarnation system began on other planets or whatever, in other planets, they were brothers, sisters, lovers, sisters, brothers. With twins, sometimes twins did not incarnate at the same time with the other twin. It did not happen. Separate experiences wanted to be lived, and it would have created too many blocks if they had been born in, say, the 17th century, to give you an example, or 3,000 years ago, to give you an example. So there would be, listen, you incarnate, I'll stay here, I'll guide you. Okay, great, you're dead now, you just died, perfect. Now I'm going to come in and take an incarnation. And then when we incarnate together, it's a big bloody deal. That's why most of you feel like, okay, I need to be in union with my twin. Yes, but you can't fight free will. That's another show, and we won't discuss it. But sometimes you will meet your high-level soulmate, and you will say, I've never felt this way before. Well, no shit. It's not often you're going to meet high-level soulmates and twin flames. It's not often. So when you meet them, it's going to feel like brand new, exciting, and healing, and so forth. So I'll give you an example. This lady met her high-level soulmate to wake her up, to wake up her root chakra. And all it took was his presence, not his sexual touch. And that happens. You've got activators that will activate you back to life. That's for some different people who are either older or middle age, meaning in your 40s, 30s, and 40s. Maybe you've been celibate for a while, and you shut everything down, and you'll have a high-level soulmate come in to wake you up from the root chakra all the way to the crown, to create confusion, to create desire, unfulfilled desire, things of that nature, to wake all your chakras up so that you are prepared and put into touch with your own sensuality, your creativity, your power, so that eventually when you do meet your twin, for example, you're ready, okay? That sometimes happens, and it's not a catalyst. It's a twin, it's a soulmate that's come in to help you because they know that you gave up. Some way along the way you gave up, okay? And that happens. But you're going to feel really good with a high-level soulmate. It's going to feel like home in their arms. It's going to feel good when you have sex. It's going to feel like you guys have started a conversation that ended like maybe 200-300 years ago. It's like that. The difference between a twin flame is that it's all fireworks. It's all intense. It's the synchronicities. It's 3 steps above the high-level soulmate. In the magic, the synchronicities is a big thing, but quite often there are twin flames who are unfortunately saddled with very, very toxic, self-destructive, fucked up twins where they're better off and they're happier to be with their high-level soulmate. Do you get me? So I don't want you to feel like if like you ever did a reading with me and I said, actually, that's not your twin, that's actually your high-level soulmate, that shouldn't be a, oh, fuck. It should be a, okay. All right, what does that mean in brass tacks? Does it mean that this person is my beloved in this incarnation? In this woman's case, it was a no. No, this was an activation because, and then I said, can I ask if you got a twin flame coming, a high-level soulmate twin flame or twin ray? Because, And she went, okay, and I did it, and boom, there it was. I said, no, that's it. This was an activation, and I could tell that there was a third party. She didn't come up, and she didn't open up to that until I finally said, look, I'm seeing third party all over the place. What's going on here? And she admitted that there was a situation, okay, which I won't go into. But my point is that the activation was real. It was necessary. And she said I've gone to the gym. I've done this. I've done that. It happened to me, by the way. You know, in my 40s, I was activated by a man. Honestly, I think he was a low-level soulmate, to be honest, but whatever. And hitting the gym, looking the best I've ever looked. And then I was ready to meet my twin. It was an activation of root chakra, creativity, sensuality, sexuality, inspiration. Incredible, right? And I ended up writing a novel and then writing another book. I mean, the shit was just opening up like you wouldn't believe. So when you close up your sexual chakra, you're closing up a lot of portals of creativity that can actually impact, believe it or not, your crown chakra, okay? Because it's a connection between Pachamama being grounded through your earth star and your crown chakra to the universe, to the creator, to the one of 1,000 names, the ones who created us all. So there's that. I also wanted to put forth the understanding of the divine masculine. So I was telling another client today, I was saying, we really need to start paying attention to the divine masculine and what they look like. And Lenny Kravitz, I don't know if you know this, but Lenny Kravitz has been celibate for 9 years. Celibate doesn't mean you're not sensual. See, people have this weird idea. What I just described previously was celibacy to other people and to yourself. That means you're not playing with yourself. You're not pleasuring yourself. You're not bringing anything in, okay? That celibacy is different. It's almost like you've used, for women, it's almost like you have a chastity belt that you threw the fucking key away. You don't even know where it is anymore. Whereas celibacy, the way I'm seeing Lenny Kravitz do it, is really honoring his sexuality and realizing, because he could have any bimbo he wants, any gorgeous girl he wants, anything he wants, at any point, he could have 5 of them pleasure him at once. Let's be honest, it's Lenny Kravitz, for Christ's sake. But he's chosen not to do that anymore because he's trying to figure out, he's trying to ground himself back. And he's trying to find something more. And it has to be spectacular for him to be what he wants to experience outside of himself. And he's going through a very, very interesting, beautiful, what I would say, shamanic journey within himself. Unlike Andrew Tate, who's got 10 bitches on the payroll, 10 different babies, 10 different baby mamas, and he's shocked when he goes to jail and none of them are, maybe one of them, 1 out of 10, is... I feel sorry for him, is visiting him in jail. In other words, they're there for the money. There's a contract. You pay me this, and I will be your baby mama. You don't pay me this, you get broke, and I will even find another person. Whereas Lenny Kravitz, it looks like to me, is a perfect divine masculine. So you got the broken and wounded masculine, successful, money, but not money doesn't make you successful. Okay, there's a consciousness that's lacking in my estimation, with Andrew Tate. And he has said some pretty powerful, true things about the masculines out there that I thought were brilliant and true. But unfortunately, he's been so wounded that I hope to God one day he finds himself and clearly he's trying to find himself because he's become Muslim, he's converted, he's trying to find God, right? He's trying to find a center within himself. And God bless him for that. But when you look at Lenny Kravitz, that's the divine masculine. That's the divine masculine going, I'm not doing this bullshit anymore. I've had it all. I've had all kinds of chicks, every color, every weight, everything, every that. I'm bored. And it could be that he's preparing for a twin ray connection. And I'm not joking when I say that. So it's very similar to David Bowie, to give you an example of a famous. Here was another guy, bisexual, drugs, heroin, insane shit, right? And almost androgynous. And then during his Thin White Duke era, which was in the 80s, he went through a transformation of reclaiming his masculinity in a more concrete way for himself, right? And then he sees Iman, right? Beautiful Somalian woman. I mean, she looks like at the time when they were both young in that age group, she looked like something from another fucking planet. And if you've ever heard anything about Iman when she was in her heyday, people said she looked like she was from another planet, which was perfect because so did David Bowie. So together, here was, I would call, a twin ray couple. She's still married to him. He's dead, we know, but she still says, I'm still married to him. And I was in awe of her. Now that my twin Ray has passed, I feel the same. I understand her so viscerally. Like, I'm married to my twin. No one can walk in, you know what I mean? I've had my high level soulmate. I've had my twin, flame turn, and we went into this graduation period, being beaten on the anvil of life through this incarnation. Massive trauma on both sides, and yet we made it to the other side to graduate, and we fucking earned it. And so what's interesting is when you look at the divine masculine and you look at the wounded masculine and the broken masculine, which Andrew Tate is a great example of that, and he's definitely trying to find himself, and you're seeing a guy like Lenny Kravitz, you've got examples, for Christ's sakes. And so your twins, or any masculine listen to it as that, look at this shit. Just look at it. Look at the different type of masculines. There's nothing wrong with being a masculine who was bisexual, who went and explored that. Nothing wrong with it. Absolutely nothing. But then came to the other side and found his beloved and was prepared to find his beloved. He could have never met her when he was doing what he was doing with his first wife, David Bowie I'm talking about. It could have never worked. In fact, it would have never worked. A woman like that would have said, yeah, I don't think so. So he had to go through 27 years of self-exploration, of experiencing all that he could. It was almost like he was shoving his essence with all the things offered to a rock star. And after a while, he recalibrated himself, going, yeah, this is not making me happy. This is not going to give me fulfillment. This is not what I'm looking for. And when he was ready, as a twin ray, he became a divine masculine and met Iman. So when you look at what these soul connections, when you look at twin flames, twin rays, when you look at high-level soulmates, quite often the meeting, like for example, I'll give you a great example of the meeting, they were twin flames. There's no Liz Taylor, 1950 something, I forgot, but I think it was definitely in the 50s, swimming pool party, Beverly Hills, the whole bullshit. She's gorgeous, these violet eyes, blah, blah, blah. And he's hearing, and here comes Richard Burton walking into this party, invited, just landed from, England, blah, blah, blah. And he hears this woman using he said, I had never heard a woman's voice use such profanity. This is a guy from Wales, okay, who's been in pubs. So he's hearing massive profanity. And he's seeing these men in a kind of a horseshoe circle around the voice. So he's following the voice because he's like, I gotta see who the fuck this is. Who the fuck talks like that? Again, 1950s. Women didn't talk like that, okay? Leave it to Beaver generation. He walks in, sees the most beautiful woman he's ever seen on his planet, which is Liz Taylor in her heyday, in her 20s. And he must have looked shocked because she looked at him through the crowd and raised an eyebrow and giggled. That was it. There was the first meeting, and literally almost 10 years later, they meet on Cleopatra, become lovers, married twice. And I hope you know the story. And if you don't know the story, you need to know. That was a twin flame, definitely, no doubt. And they couldn't live with each other, couldn't live apart, loved each other until he died and then she passed. They could not make it work, which is really sad because they were born at a time when none of this that you and I are talking about, none of this that you take for granted, right, was even on the table. The best they could say to themselves and to each other was, you must be a soulmate connection. That was the best they could to explain this incredible need to be in each other's arms, to be together, and yet the fights, the jealousy, the put downs, the toxicity, and of course the alcohol, which doesn't help with clarity, obviously, right? So any questions or whatever you want to share, anything? Let me read your comments. I love when you comment. How many people? Oh, cool. My wedding song is Lenny, I Belong to You, 2001. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing the live, VDRS. I appreciate that. Some comments were filtered. Why don't you bug off? My twin is following only Andrew Tate. Oh my God. Well, he's how do I put this nicely? He's fucked because Andrew Tate is a broken, wounded masculine who does some weird ass shit with domination and subjugation. If you get my drift, wink, wink. And he fundamentally doesn't like women. That's number one. He's a misogynist, but also because he's a misogynist based on his choices. It's almost like he co-created a situation where he only had bimbos. I'm just going to say bimbos. Bimbos, in my opinion, are beautiful girls that don't have much in their head, who can't leave the house without makeup, full lashes, full contouring, full this. I remember him talking, being interviewed once with his brother, who I really have much more respect than him, Tristan. And they were talking about how they always travel with just, sometimes nothing, just themselves. They jump on a plane together on a spur. And he was traveling with one of his girls, and she was like freaking out because she was out of her foundation. I'm sorry, ladies, if you can't, if you need your foundation that bad, and you can't just jump on a plane with a tube of lipstick and some mascara and maybe a bronzer, which would take absolutely no space, you're wearing too much shit on your face, okay? So unfortunately, he's hanging out with women who literally are so busy looking hot that they forgot how to be women. If you watch the movie Night of the Iguana with Ava Gardner, she barely has anything on her face, and she's stunning and sexy as fuck. It's almost vulgar how sexy she is. It's almost like she's rolled out of bed with two men. But you gotta understand, like, I think we've gone overboard with the contouring and the lashes and the plucking and the blucking and the flipping and the flopping. Listen, it's too much, okay? It's fucking too much. I mean, I remember the days when Faye Dunaway, when she did the movie The Eyes of Laura Mars, I'm sure she had a little powder on her face, no eye makeup, red lipstick. Okay, so, and I remember when I was in my heyday, when I was in my 20s and 30s, absolutely no makeup, bronzer, and a red lipstick. If you got it, you got it. It's one of the secrets of the French women. It's funny how Tripology is selling the shit out of their very simple French makeup, and you're seeing the difference. You're seeing American women actually doing examples of American makeup and French makeup. It is freeing to wear makeup like that because that means you can jump in the ocean and it actually, your liner starts smudging in a beautiful way and your lipstick just looks like it's blotted out and you look gorgeous and your hair gets all like, you know, that beautiful mermaid curls from the salt in the sea. I think women need to fucking relax and just step back. But Andrew Tate has invested in women from all over the world that really feel like to look a certain way, you have to pack it on and you have to constantly, culture out your body, your face, your this, your that. And I guess because it's a commodity, I guess, and you want to be the best looking one when you walk in with Andrew Tate. So, I mean, in a way, he's misogynist because he's picked women who isn't proving him any differently or wrong. Do you get what I'm saying? So when you pick a real woman, first of all, 10 broads on the payroll is a no. A powerful woman would say, yeah, a no. And a woman like that would be like culture, you know, like really challenging his IQ, challenging his spirituality, challenging his philosophy, challenging his sexuality, challenging his weird deviant desires. And at this point, I think it's too late for him. I think it is. I really do. Because he's going down a dead-end street. I think Tristan is probably is watching his brother, who he adores, and he's loyal to his brother. But I think Tristan is trying to figure out himself in a different way, and he's more of a father to, you kind of get a sense, right? But both of them are cheaters, and they think, and when I say cheaters, I mean not just cheaters on the women they're with, but cheaters on themselves. They're cheating themselves. They're actually they're actually betraying themselves. And because they are aligning themselves with women who really have an ulterior motive of money. Money is the generator of these relationships. And sure, the affection can grow, I mean, people had arranged marriages for thousands of years. And of course, in some marriages, affection would grow, right? But they're not learning what love is on that level. And so there's cynicism, and eventually bitterness will grow. And eventually when they lose their beauty, their good looks, their muscle, the this, the that, and perhaps, God forbid, their money, then they're going to be lonely men, and maybe not even connected to their children. Because if you're in pursuit of the next thing, the next hottie, the next hottie, the next hottie, how would you have time to actually nurture raising your children? And that many, by the way. So they're not going to have these really strong connections with their babies. And it's not a win-win, okay? I mean, so here's Lenny Kravitz with this incredible connection with his ex-wife, his daughter. He's really trying to nurture something that is, and I think it's coming from a place of really deep spiritual understanding and so forth. When Tina Turner was having her ass beaten by Ike, and she ran away, watched the movie with Tina Turner about her life, played by Angela Bassett, brilliantly played. She turns to Buddhism. She finds God. She finds some sense of purpose and grounding, and she chants and she chants and she chants, and look at what happened to her career. It was more incredible, more expansive, more explosive, and she ended up meeting the love of her life, who was, I think, 20 years younger than her, and they ended up marrying after, I think, 20 years of being together in France. And I think she was like 10, 15 years older than him. He was a billionaire of his own right. He didn't marry her for her money. He had his own money, clearly, right? So, when you're spiritual, when you when you find your center through through chanting, through connecting with the higher self, through also God energy, however you do it, through chanting, working on your chakras, opening your crown chakra, things of that nature, you're going to feel more connected. I think my twins are narcissists. We hardly got to hang out or meet. He kept flaking and then showed third party and told me that, okay. My twin is 100% narcissistic, the worst I've ever experienced, and there has been a lot. Be prepared to prepare me for him, no doubt. The way he had to lead me on and discarded me. He's 6 years younger, different ethnicity, different background. Well, the question is he a twin? See, what makes me sad about people because I remember once I had a client who said, yeah, I've had 2 psychics tell me it was a twin. And if you had seen the reading I saw, I was like, if you were a fly on the wall and saw the readings that I do that confirm twins, I have an 80% success rate in seeing if it's a twin or not. 20%, it's, I'm not infallible. Hello, I'm a human. But what I will say is that there are patterns that I always see with twins, constantly. And the problem is that these psychics, and I say that in inverted commas, as Andromeda Flame would say, with absolutely no respect, will sprinkle the twin flame label like it's confetti. And they will fuck people up. Because in some cases, it's not a twin. It's a high-level soulmate with toxic karmic loopings. In some cases, it's a soulmate, not even a high-level soulmate, with unfinished business. That's to prep you for a twin, like the client I just had tonight. Another scenario is it's not even a fucking twin. It's not even a soulmate. It's nothing. It's a karmic loop, and the lesson has never been learned. And then you got these psychics that come in that say, oh yeah, it's your twin, because they see the King and Queen of Cups, and suddenly it's a twin. It takes a lot more. That's why I do numerology. I had a client who referred me to a friend of hers who wanted a reading. I said, okay, well, I got to do the numerology. Well, I'm a 1. I go, that doesn't say anything to me. I need to do the numerology. I'll be about 10 minutes, and then we'll go right into your reading. And she went, I just want to get to the tarot. And I went, okay, well, I don't think I'm your psychic. Because for me to do a proper reading, I need to know your numbers. I need to see in my way. I need to do it in 10, 15 minutes. And then the rest of the reading, we can just go right into it. I will refuse clients. And I texted my client saying, thank you for the referral. It's fantastic, but I don't think I'm her person. And she said, well, thank you for telling me. And yeah, probably not. She's not. I said, she's not patient. She thinks she knows it all. And she thinks she has all the answers. And she thinks she understands numerology. I've been doing this since 1996. And I connect the numerology to the tarot. They're intertwined. And the client knows I'm just saying the truth because she saw the readings with me. So my point is, be careful. That make sure that it's a twin. Do your due diligence, and really ask the universe, show me what this says. You can do a lot of exercises on your own. I wanted to also jump in and mention something else that I saw that really shocked the shit out of me today, which I have to talk about. Oh, I love the doves. Thank you, Tink. Thank you for the gift. I appreciate it. So the other thing I saw today, which I have to warn you against, is I saw someone, I swear to God, I want to roll off my ugh. So this person is showing on TikTok, them opening the person's third eye. I swear, I don't want to yell. They're opening their third eye. Oh yes, I feel good. No shit. When you do any healing with a Reiki master, a Reiki student, a healer, a touch healer, non-touch healer that uses chi, you're going to feel fucking amazing. You might even feel buggy-eyed. But if they then tell you that they just open your third eye, they're full of shit. They're full of shit. And I don't understand why this is happening. The only person that can open your third eye is you. You and the elements. You and all your chakras have got to be aligned to open your third eye. But no one can go in and open your third eye, okay? They honestly can't. And so I put a comment, I said, you can do it yourself. And then I had somebody say, well, how can I do it? I'm like, how can you do it? Well, you want me to answer that question in a little sentence on a TikTok comment page? You know how many, what do you want me to write a book? The way you do it is through chakra work, through chanting, through grounding, through intention, through upgrading yourself with light codes. Instead of waiting passively for light codes to be upgraded to you while you're sleeping, kind of like your computer software gets upgraded, you ask for it. And you work. There are guided meditations. One of them is called Pineal Gland by Dr. Joe Dispenza. It's about 78 minutes. If you have the time, the focus to do it, it will blow your third eye open, okay? I know because I did it. But I've had my third eye open for a long time, but you can never, it's kind of like saying, well, I've already cleansed my chakra last week. No, you cleanse your chakra every day. It's like saying, well, I just cleaned my glasses last week. Yeah, okay, take a cloth because they're foggy. Clean your glasses with this cloth. Here's this cloth so you can see clearer. So all of your chakras can be completely and as often as you can, cleaning, charging your chakras. And then you'll sit and do these massive, intense, guided meditations that Joe Dispenza is a master at knowing. He has been using the science of neurology to understand where the human brain pops. He'll actually tell you, I can tell by the brain waves and when they're about to blow, like go into this blissful state of surrender and massive opening, right? He knows what he's doing. So when you do the pineal gland, for example, which I think is $35, you can get on his website, that will blow your any cobwebs. Also nutrition. You want to open your third eye and you want to be a carnivore? Not happening. Will not happen. It won't. Because if you're a carnivore and you go on a carnivore diet, and I've yet to meet any carnivore, I'm being straight up with you, any carnivore that is fully awake and receptive. What happens is most carnivores buy their meat. I just saw a video saying, yeah, I spend like $221 on just meat once a week. And that's just all. And we just pass the fruits and vegetables like it's flowers, like it's a flower stand. I'm like, oh my God. But anyway, so here's buying meat from Walmart. Walmart. Okay. And all of the meat has gone through massive trauma. Fuck meat. These animals have gone through massive trauma. No water, traveling hours, no water, heat, stuck together, squeezed, afraid, then going up the ramp, smelling blood. Come on, guys. You really going to eat that shit? So you're eating cortisol and hormones and bullshit. You really think you're going to happen? You're opening your third eye. If you go to any good ayahuasca, every shaman will say, "Do not eat meat for 2 weeks." Why do you think they're telling you that? Do you think they're telling you that because it's just for the hell of it? No, they're telling you that because they want you to have a purified system. They want your colon cleaned out. They want you not to be high. So they'll say, no sex, no meat, no alcohol, no pot, no drugs. Come in 2 weeks before, then come in and do the medicine. And they do that so you can get the full expansive experience with Pachamama coming in to clear you, to open you, to activate you. And if you're eating meat, and I remember having a client who had eaten meat, and she went into Mount Shasta to do the ayahuasca, and her whole trip for 8 hours, I can't even imagine how she survived it, was all about blood, gore, and all kinds of death and all kinds of horrific scenes because she had eaten meat the day before. And she eats meat. So when you want to open your third eye, if you're really serious, most of people in my circle, okay, were either vegans or vegetarians. I'm being straight up, okay. I had one client 2 days ago where I said to her, the way you fell is the Anunnakis came in and you were using sheep and lamb for fleece, for milk, you were making butter, cheese, and they came in and they I'm not going to say it here but anyway they processed let's just put it that way. I don't want to say it violently. They processed the lamb in front of you, and then they gave it to you to taste, and you developed a passion for the meat, for the flesh. And she said, "You're not going to believe this. Confirmation. Okay, of all the animals, it could have been a pig, a cow, a chicken, a this, or that." She said, "I have a fridge full of lamb and sheep in my fridge. And for the last 12 months, I've been contemplating not eating it anymore." She said, and I buy it up the street. It's only 3 miles away. And she said, as soon as my fridge is empty, I'm not eating meat. And I said, great. So here's what you're going to do. You got to figure out how many grams of protein you're used to, and you got to replicate it with plants, and through legumes, through this, through that. But make sure you really try to understand how many grams of protein you're taking, so that you bridge the vegetarian life with ease. You don't start losing your hair and shit like that, which. When I did it, I'd been a vegetarian from the time I met my twin until I was in my 20s. Then I fell off the wagon, and in my 30s, I started not being able to digest. I was going through an awakening. I went through, I'll never forget when my son was like, I became a vegetarian again at 40, straight up vegetarian. And unfortunately, I started losing my hair. And once I realized what I was doing wrong with the grams of protein, I recalibrated that, and no problem. But it's different. Do you understand how we used to eat meat? Even 200 years ago was different. And so when my grandfather used to hunt pheasants and duck and this and that, there was no trauma. Do you get it? It's different. And so when I have meat eaters who are my clients, don't get me wrong, I'm not here to berate you and beat you up, but you can't, if you're a straight up carnivore buying meat from shit places like Safeway, supermarkets, and Walmart, and you're expecting your third eye to open, your third eye will open, and you'll see a lot of trauma, and it's going to freak you out because you're not in a pure state. I'm just being real. I think at this point I'm not going to cater to people who want to hear that it's okay to eat meat. It fucking isn't, and that's the end of it. Now there are bodybuilders, gorgeous men and women who are vegan, who have massive amount of muscles, gorgeous bodies, lean, no fat, that are vegan. To be honest with you, with me, it was never that, because when I was vegan, I had a massive sweet tooth, massive, which will put fat on you. You know what I mean? Let's be honest. But I'm more interested in my connection with source than me having a lean muscle mass. If you decide to go on the carnivore diet, every person who says they're on it I don't want to look like them. Every person I've ever met that's a vegetarian, that is healthy, that lifts weights, that's running up hills, sweating, and I mean lifting weights, they have glowy skin, The white of their eyes are white. They look amazing. There's something else going on that is so bizarre and very, very disturbing. I'm seeing women, and I'm shocked they would do that. I'm seeing women talking about eating uteruses of cows, uterus and fallopian tubes of cows to help them with inflammation or whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, this is like self-healing. In other words, they've convinced themselves that they need this, and suddenly now they feel better. There is such a thing as this placebo effect. I mean, shit, Dr. Joe Dispenza wrote a book on it. And he's got literally 2 guided meditations on the placebo effect. You are the placebo. Why? I don't get it. But women are having serious conversations about it. So I'm going to tell you a secret. Eat avocados like you would a burger. Eat 2 avocados a day. Get all these good fats into your body. You know what I'm saying? And eat as much as you want of raw and so forth. They just did a video on a woman who died because she was a vegan. And I'm like thinking, this is such bullshit, because there are tons of people who are not dying. I don't know what she was doing, but one of the things she was not doing is drinking a lot of water, which water is life. You can't live without water. You'll start getting dizzy, vertigo, and so on. You're not going to feel good. So I think that those who are staying and listening to me, good. I want you to realize that you start slow. But even if you start where for 1 week you do not eat any animal product, none, meaning except for, say, cheese, right? Butter, those things, but no eggs, none of that. You're going to see a difference in the tone of your skin and the clarity in your thoughts. I'm not joking. And if you insist on eating meat, then do it correctly. Go with a hunter and split a venison, split a deer, or go to a farm and say with another family and split a cow and get yourself a freezer. I mean, do it right. And then make sure they go to an abattoir, a place where they are taken down in a humane, not in a crowded room, not going from one place to another in a truck where there's no water. Make sure they're fed, they're watered, they're relaxed, they're calm, they're happy, and boom, they're gone. I mean, what's wrong with that? And I feel as if everyone's going on this carnivore diet, buying the shittiest meat you can by design for a reason. If you think you're not, those people aren't being manipulating you, thinking, oh, all my issues are gone. For how long? And what they're calling the carnivore diet was in the 70s called the Atkins diet. It was called the Atkins diet. This is not new shit, by the way. If you think this is brand new shit, it isn't. People were having heart attacks left and right because it was clogging up their arteries with too much shit. Too much shit. Not enough fiber. Not enough of anything. If you want to eat like the French, okay, then you're gonna work on eating duck fat, that's duck confit, with meat that's been preserved in duck fat or goose fat. But then, of course, you're having a salad, you're having a glass of red wine, you're having all the things that will create fibrous things so that you're passing everything out and you're healthy and you're not corroding your arteries. The Atkins diet was 86th in the 70s. Towards the end of the 70s, people were like fucking running from it because it was actually dangerous. It was not a healthy diet at all. So this whole carnivore diet, it's a new name for the old fucking story, is a joke to me. It's like been there, done that, and it doesn't work, and it doesn't work for long. Is it okay to eat pasture raised eggs or your own from your own chickens or ducks? Absolutely, because if you're going to do it like they did in the 1800s, which absolutely, because you love you're handling your business, you're feeding your chickens table scraps. In fact, I have chickens, and I'm only doing it because I don't want to have ticks, to be honest. And they all have names, and yeah, absolutely. And you feed them sweet potato, avocado. You feed them seeds and all the organic stuff from your supply places for farm animals. But you also want to make sure that you're feeding everything you got on your, not meat. Do not feed your chickens meat. Okay, I think that's bullshit. I saw a guy on TikTok feeding chickens a roasted chicken. I thought it was cruel. I thought it was bullshit, and I thought he's fucked. He thought he was funny, and oh, so funny. It's not funny. So what you want to do, though, is on your plate, if you got pasta, don't feed the meatballs. Give them to your dog. But give everything else, like the salad you didn't want to eat. Okay, there it goes to your ducks and chickens. And I'm sure you're doing that already. I don't have to tell you. I'm sure you're doing that already, right? So the eggs are going to be beautiful, right? So I would say yes, of course. Of course do that. I mean, at least. And I know that Gandhi was eating, what is it called? Non-fertilized eggs. For some, so you think about South India. At least when I was in my 20s, I remember South India was all vegetarian. They've been vegetarians for 1,000 years. And the cow is highly prized. The cow was revered. And the milk from the cow and the butter from the cow and the cheese from the cow, all of that was great. But they would never think of eating the cow. I mean, it's just, there was a feeling of, this is barbaric. Why would you kill the mother, the mother who gives you the milk, the cheese, and the butter? It doesn't make sense. But, yeah, I mean, I hope that answers your questions. I mean, you're loving your ducks and your chickens, right? You talk to them softly, right? You're affectionate to them. They're kind of your pets, right? So, I mean, you're going to have amazing eggs, right? I would imagine, right? So I think yes. And you can make a fabulous omelet with your eggs with, with beautiful cheese and tarragon and absolutely. So when I was moving out of being, because I used to eat chicken, okay? I used to eat Cornish hen, chicken, whatever. And then I realized I can't. And so I started going more into the eggs. And I slowly went into becoming a vegetarian. By that time, I was eating salads with... my favorite is Gruyere cheese and baguette. That was my favorite in the oven. Oh my God. And that was my thing. And then eventually, one day, me and my twin looked at each other and go, you want to be a vegan for like 30 days? And so we went out to get cannolis. We lived in New York. We went to get our last cannolis. It was like, okay. And we went and became vegans for 30 days. And then we were like, okay. He said, well, we've done 30 days. How do you feel? I fucking feel amazing. You want to do it for another 30 days? And then it ended up being 6 years. 6 years we were vegans. And it was so easy. There was Mayoko's butter, cashew butter. There's coconut, almond milk, coconut milk. I was sometimes putting a little vinegar in the coconut cream, right? And letting it kind of sour to make sour cream for our guacamole and black beans and cumin. And holy shit, we would make these meals that were fucking unbelievable. And the sour cream was from the coconut cream with a little bit of the Bragg's vinegar. At the time we were using Bragg's, and letting it sit with chicken, with what is it called? Cheesecloth over the lid, and letting it sour. And then the following day, here we had our sour cream. You know what I'm saying? And it was fantastic. I mean, we weren't suffering at all. So it never occurred to us to get off being a vegan. And to be honest with you, I've fallen off the wagon. I eat cheese, and I'm really looking to go back to being a vegan again. It's been a haul. I know the best shape I've ever been, I was a vegan every time. So yeah, absolutely. And when I get eggs, because we're gonna have eggs. My son eats eggs, but there's just so many eggs we're gonna be able to eat, and so we'll donate them to a church, a food bank church, right? So we'll donate them to people, and we'll go from there. But I have 7 chickens. They're all different types, including the ones that they're all brown egged. They lay brown eggs, blue eggs, green eggs, and they're young. They're still teenagers, and at that point, we'll probably donate eggs to, like I said, churches will be happy to take your eggs. So if you have an overabundance of eggs, you can donate them to a church food bank, and they'll be happy to get them, give them out. So any questions or comments? Does that make sense to you guys, how the third eye can be open if you got trauma, if you're eating flesh from trauma like bacon is like pig. is the worst thing you can eat. The way they take it down, it takes 30 minutes for them to die. Did you know that? Look it up. I'm not making it up. That's why you have people who are so hell-bent on saving the pigs. It's not because they're better than cows. It's because the time it takes for them to die, sometimes they don't die for hours. That's how the level of stupidity of what these people have thought was a good way for them to die. Now, what happens when you eat the cortisol, trauma, fear, pain of an animal? You ingest it and it becomes cortisol. What is the most biggest problem we have in our society right now? Cortisol. What are we trying to sell to lower cortisol, in particular for women? Rhodiola. So clearly, this amount of cortisol is twofold. One, from fucking living the life that the 1% have put, putting their boot on our throats. That's one aspect of the cortisol. But the other is also of what we're eating, right? What we're eating isn't working. The cortisol is also, and I'm going to be blunt with that because I'm really guilty of it, is sugar. So when you're under massive stress, you're going to start craving sugar because you want nectar. Because if you're not getting nectar from the arms of your twin, your arms of your beloved, and you're not getting nectar because you're working your ass off, and then all you can do is just collapse in your couch, bed, whatever, and you're not getting the nectar, you're going to go for sugar. That's just common sense, right? Or I hope not as often, but alcohol, right? So you got to be careful. So everything is interconnected and by design. That's why, and I don't know if you guys know that, but chocolate, Swiss chocolate, there's batches of chocolate made in Switzerland for the American palate where they add more sugar to the chocolate, and they ship it out to just the American palate. Did you know that? So clearly, we're known to need more sugar than the average European, for example. If you've ever had a pastry anywhere in France, Italy, Spain, anywhere, England, it tastes fabulous, but there's not a lot of sugar. In other words, it's the perfect amount of sweetness in it. It's not an overabundance. Whereas here, it's kind of like almost like you'll start taking a piece of brownie, going, oh my God, it's a lot of sugar. Fuck, I'm not really tasting the chocolate. I'm just tasting sugar that happens to have chocolate, not chocolate that happens to have the right amount of sweetness. Does that make sense? So we're better off doing our own food as much as possible. Any questions? Can you share anything that you think would be a problem for us? So how do you feel, Rebecca, about not eating as much meat, as much flesh? And if you are aligning yourself with a good, honest hunter that has integrity. That means he's not out there being a yahoo, drinking beers and shooting at animals and not killing them right off the bat. He's not doing a good job taking them out, right? He's fucking up. He's what I call a sloppy hunter, ingrate. Good hunters hunt for meat, not for sport. Okay? Good hunters go out, they get their deer, they might get 2, maybe 3, but they're not doing it for sport. They're doing it to feed their families, to make buckskin pants, to make things out of the horns. It's not to put a head on their wall. Okay, they're not doing that for that. They're doing it to eat. And I remember hearing of a hunter who was doing it to hunt for sport and was so sickened one day by a particular one of his hunter friends who really mangled a deer. They had to take it out of its suffering. He said he quit hunting that day. He was like, I can't do this anymore. This is actually cruel. It's actually fucked up. The land I own, I've had a couple people come by who used to come to this house because the previous owners, and just good old boys, with the weird attitude. Most of the people are amazing here, but these people had a really funky energy, and they proceeded to tell me that they used to hunt up on this land that is mine now. And I'm so happy to say that all the animals I live on this property are safe. My neighbors across the street, no one's going to hunt. In fact, this whole sector that is here, probably a total of maybe 30, 40 acres of land, is absolutely safe for animals to thrive, to give birth to their babies, to live a long and prosperous life, and we are the caretakers of that reality for them. And that makes me really happy to know that these bastards will never walk on this land and hunt ever again. So for me, I have great respect for hunters that hunt for their families, for meat, for subsistence. Hunters that hunt for sport, I have I have zero respect for. Zero. So hopefully, if I've offended you, you've probably left by now. Yes, I figured. Okay, so any questions or comments? Any questions or comments? Anything that you want to add? Anything at all? Yeah. So, what else can I share with you? So that's about the whole of it. So we talked about the divine masculine. We talked about meat. We talked about oh, come on, Charlene. Did you just read the room? Charlene, invest in a good reading. All right, anything else, please? Anyone else have a question that is actually relevant to the conversation? Or comments? Any comments? Okay, so I think what we should do is I'm going to do a oracle card reading, okay? And we're going to go from there. And let me know if you're up for that. Would you like an oracle reading? Show of hands if you don't mind. If you don't mind. I just want to make sure. Because if you're not interested, we can actually wrap it up if you want. Would you like an oracle? Okay, great. Thank you, Rebecca, for responding. Anyone else? All right, so I'm going to pull from the Kali Oracle deck. Perfect, thank you. Consola, Washington. Okay, Sarah, thank you, my love. All right, yes, please. Perfect, thank you, Kelly. You're very kind, thank you. All right, let's do it. Give your angels, guides, and allies permission to guide you in the session. We've got 9 people here. Perfect. It's God's master number. And what I need the collective to pick. So the majority wins. So pick from the top, bottom, and middle. And I need you to write it down. Top, bottom, and middle. So comment, and the majority we get the card. Okay? And then I'll read it to you. Top. I'm stopping. Majority wins. Top. I have top so far. Bottom, top, middle, top. Okay, I'm going to go with top. Okay. 42. 42 is 6. 6 is Venus. 6 is love. 6 is love in tarot. And it also means choices. And the name of the card is called Kali Kalmasa Nasini. 42. So let me read it. Kali is a badass goddess. And so this should be an interesting message. All right, let's begin. All right, I want you to close your eyes and listen to it with your body. She has 4 hands, four arms. She has a ram's head. In one hand, she's holding a spear. In another, her hand is up, and then she's also holding, it's an arrow, actually. It's an arrow. Speaking of hunters, holy shit. And she's holding a bow in one hand, an arrow in the other. She's got 4 skulls around her neck. And there's a beautiful sun rising or setting behind her, the sky. Let's begin. 42 Kali Kalmasa Nasini. She devours the darkness with her endless hunger for light, peace, and redemption. She reaches the deepest places, the darkest spaces, relentless in her pursuit of the lost and despairing. No soul shall ever be forgotten, abandoned, or betrayed by her. Those that believe in their own guilt, their sin, their shame, evoke her mighty tenderness, and she feasts upon the darkness that threatens to consume them, alleviating the weight of their suffering, allowing their hearts to become light and free. The name Kali Kalmasas Nasini translates as she who consumes sin. She destroys ill intent. She eradicates mistakes. Here is Kali as the supreme divine weapon. She is the archer and the arrow. She is the divine mind unleashed, so it shall raise anything built on negative foundation, and who vanquishes all evil. Hers is the power of Pashu Patrasta. This is a Sanskrit word which refers to the ultimate spiritual weapon. It has the capacity to neutralize every other weapon in the universe. This divine weapon can be unleashed in numerous ways. Whether its power is delivered by arrow or sword or release of thought or glance or sound from the divine mind, its action is unequivocal and swift. In the blink of an eye, something once considered as solid as a rock is reduced to nothing. So it's interesting what she says about, listen to this, in the blink of an eye, something once considered as solid as a rock. That can be a marriage, that can be a job, that can be a thought process, a thought pattern, a belief in your religion, a belief system in a philosophy. Solid as a rock is reduced to nothing. The manifestation of this power is so great that we must take pause to consider our motivation to have kindness and detachment when connecting with this form of Kali Ma, or indeed any of her forms. Fear can make our intentions and actions unnecessarily aggressive. Better to come to Kali from a place of gentle heart and unwavering firmness of sanctuary in her wisdom. Better to recognize that her wisdom, rather than our own point of view, can accomplish the best outcome for all beings. Better to trust in her divine justice and mercy than your concerns about whether you or another shall be held karmically accountable for your actions. You can release all such concerns and simply trust in her. This will bring peace to your mind and allow you to let go of the past, your mistakes, and the errors of others without being harmed. You will learn, but you will not suffer. This brings spiritual benefit to all beings. There is a commonly held view that the more powerful you become, the more aggressive or forceful you must be. The Divine Mother offers us a different perspective. You can be simultaneously fierce towards ego and kind towards the heart. With true power comes wisdom, and wisdom knows when to be gentle and how to obtain ever greater outcomes through tenderness rather than force. Sometimes a strong and unwavering approach, even sacred rage, may be, did you hear that? Sacred rage may be necessary to accomplish a task, but more often than not, there will be another way. Kali Kalmasa Nasini comes to us when we need to know we have so much divine support for our purpose that we can't afford to handle what needs to happen with some care. We don't need to approach every conflict with all guns firing, although the power will rise up to meet the need. We can give some breathing space for that to instinctively happen, and only to the extent necessary. The divine knows how to accomplish things in the best way. If we strengthen our inner connection to that divine wisdom, we will spontaneously know how to proceed. The oracle guides you to be present and to do only what feels correct in each moment, rather than to react or decide what you think your behavior should be. You will sense the best way to proceed as you stay true to your intuition and instinct. The Divine Mother is guiding you, and you do not need to fear. There is also the expression of what's done is done. In this emanation, as the consumer of sin, Kali Ma Nasini devours past error. This concept of sin is not intended to elicit guilt or shame on our part, but to give us a sense that we can become free from what has been, to learn from it, yes, to allow it to continue to define us and direct the course of our lives. Hell no. If we feel that what has been done is too great to deserve such compassion, remember that the Divine Mother's blessings are only able to bring benefit to all beings. It is the humanic perspective that sees things in terms of winning at another's expense. In the higher and truer view, that is simply not possible. True benefits bring spiritual benefits to all being. What is truly right in the spirit, rather than a matter of one person's opinions versus another's, is ultimately best for all. When this oracle arises, it is a call to give up the past and your stories about it, especially those that tether you to something you have long since outgrown. Let yourself off the hook. Trust that if you have been beaten down, you will rise with divine grace to believe in yourself and your path, and to know that ultimately your divine destiny can never be overcome. That's amazing. Thank you. That's amazing. We've all fucked up. We've all fucked up. We've all done things that we regret. We all have said things we wish we hadn't said. All of us. None of us walk on water. So with that said, this concept of allowing yourself to let go and to forgive. Again, like I've said before, when I was at the bedside of my twin, I was saying to him, whatever you do, please, I'm begging you. I'm begging you. Please forgive yourself and forgive others. That was our conversation every day, every day, every day. I did the same with my mother, but especially for my twin, because I said to him, if you don't forgive yourself, if you don't forgive others, you and I will not be able to meet, and the separation will be longer in the other realms. Please, promise me. And I remember him winking at me, like he got it, And it's not easy to forgive yourself, because the person you were in your 20s, right? The person you were in your teens, in your 30s, and so on, is most likely so removed for who you are today. It's most likely so removed, it's insane. So something I'm going to teach you today is a mantra that is going to be, it's funny too, because today was a day of mantras. Today was a day of love. And sometimes my clients come into me and they share with me something that is so similar, it's insane. They come in twos or threes. So the mantra I'm going to teach you from Thomas Ashley Farran, to give him credit because he was such a great Sanskrit scholar, is Aham Prema. And I'm going to send you, and you should do a screenshot of that. This is going to be, bear with me while I type this out for you guys. Prema. Okay, and what that means, since you're going to, I'm divine. I'm just going to go like that. I'm divine love. That's literally what it means. I'm about to send it to you. So you're going to say, Aham Prema, Aham Prema, Aham Prema. It's a very simple mantra, but it's about I am love. I am love. I am love. When your monkey mind is kicking the shit out of you with its negative stuff, you're going to say that mantra. And you're going to probably use it on your chakras. So if I were you, I would do a screenshot of Aham Prema right here, right? Do a screenshot of this. I am. It's actually I am divine love, but it's auto-corrected to I'm, but whatever. And that is the mantra I want you to start using on your chakras. So you're going to do 3 Aham Prema, Aham Prema, Aham Prema. First chakra, second chakra, Aham Prema, Aham Prema, Aham Prema. And second chakra, third chakra, which is the belly button, the Hara chakra. If you haven't done my Ho'oponopono guided meditation on my profile page, right, you'll see it. Go to my profile page. It's right there. It's pinned. I've kept it pinned there for you. It's Ho'oponopono. Go ahead and do that every night. I have clients all over the world doing Ho'oponopono every night before they go to sleep. And it teaches you the 9 chakras, number 1. Number 2, it clears and cleans and charges your chakras. When you are in the morning you should be waking up going, angels, guides, allies, I give you permission to guide me in word and action. I'm so happy for your help. Then right off the bat, you should do either thank you, thank you, thank you to each of your chakras, 9, not 7, 9, or Aham Prema, Aham Prema. And my God, why let your monkey mind control your life? Because if you let your monkey mind control your life, you're not going to win. It's not going to happen. Okay, it isn't. One of the mantras, another mantra, which I'm not going to type here because, but it's Om Radha Krishnaya Namaha. Om Radha Krishnaya Namaha. Om Radha Krishnaya Namaha. Om Radha Krishnaya Namaha. Aham Prema, Aham Prema, Aham Prema. So you can actually play with the mantras, as you can see. There's another one. Now this one is Om and salutation to that single being of love manifestation as the lovers of Radha and Krishna. Because they ripped Mary Magdalene and Yeshua out of our collective consciousness 2,000 years ago, the next one that is actually much older, much more ancient from the Vedas 7,000 years ago is Radha and Krishna. That is the divine twin rays, the divine couple. So that is one. And when my twin was crossing over, I was chanting this mantra 3 times, and then I would chant his Sanskrit name with Om and Namaha 3 times, and I would go back to the divine couple, because that was my way of transmuting and transcending the separation into something that would still connect us, where I would still be here in this body and he would be on the other side until we met, until we would come into physical union again, not in this world, in the other world, a new incarnation. When I drop my body, it's a new incarnation. Does that make sense? Just because I'm not coming back here doesn't mean that it's not an incarnation. It's a different reality. Does that make sense? Okay, so now, any questions or comments about anything at all? I'm just curious that if you guys have anything to share that you want to share. Okay. Well, I want to thank you all. I did put a live this morning on why the Galactic Council is not actively helping us. I think if you listen to that, it's on my YouTube channel. It's on my profile page on the link tree. It'll be right there, YouTube. It'll say YouTube. Go there. My book, Recall, is for sale. I don't know why people keep trying to share. Amazon's really... First of all, Recall was banned by TikTok, just so you know. Why, I don't know. Well, I kind of know, but not really. If you want a very erotic story based on true past lives, based on twin flame connections, then Recall's your book. Massively erotic. So if you're offended by sex in all of its colors, then that's not your book. However, if you're a spiritualist, you're looking at understanding Tantra, you're understanding toxic twin flame sexuality, meaning toxic, meaning it's used to control, not to be bonded, and then to contrast with a new incarnation, that might be the book you want to read, Recall. And the way it goes is present life, past life, present life, past life. The past life is 3,500 years ago in Mesopotamia. The present life is set in 1997. So it might be something you want to check out, okay? All right, my loves, thank you so much for everything. Sending you much love on your journey. Namaste. I will upload this live so you can check it out on my YouTube channel. Take care.